up? It's Jan, back at it again with another nerdy bookish video. This is gonna be my November TBR. I was watching old vlogs with Joey, and I used to do that inflection in my intro, and I just wanted to try it again, give it another whirl, you know? It felt weird. Oh no, I need a coaster. Oh wait, I have a Subway napkin just conveniently there. Anyway, this is my November TBR. Ambitious as always, but I tried to narrow it down as best as I could so that I could actually like maybe possibly potentially achieve it, and then anything else is a bonus. There are a bunch of carryovers because I'm slowly but surely trying to make my way through getting all my current reads done and out of the way before December when I'm cramming to try to get a fresh start in 2023. You know what I mean? You know how it goes. Today is November 3rd. As I'm filming this, I actually just went on a run and I just wanted to film before showering. Can you tell I'm sweaty and gross? It's fine. So it's November 3rd. I already finished Monster Volume 4 from last month, and then I also finished the audiobook for Convenience Store Women, which wasn't on my TBR at all. It was just on my radar for the past couple years, and it was a quick audiobook and I loved it. By the way, spoiler for my wrap-up already, gave it 5 stars. I have a bunch of book club picks, readathon things, because I am participating in Gilmore Girls readathon this month. I host my monthly Patreon readathon. My Patreon links are always down below, by the way. It's vampire themed. We're called The Lair. We talk about spooky things, coffee, books, Taylor Swift, all the good things in the Discord for the 2nd and 3rd tiers. It's such a fun time. I would love to have you. Links down below. Anywho, so I host a monthly Patreon readathon, which I'm combining also with a Nightmare Before Christmas themed readathon that I'm hosting with Maddy Moon, I think is her channel name. I'll have her channel linked down below because she did film an announcement video. I just personally didn't have time to film one, but it's gonna be from November 18th to the 20th. I don't have a TBR for that. This is like my general November TBR. With all that being said, I'm gonna get it going here. So all my TBRs start off with my full moon book club pick. This is technically my October pick, but y'all know me, I don't remember anything from books, so I read them days before the live show. The live show is November 9th at 7 p.m. Central, and we're going to be reading Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. Like I said, it was the October pick, and a lot of you have been telling me you've been reading it and loving it, so I'm super excited, and I'm co-hosting it with Liv from Liv's Library. I actually just read T. Kingfisher for the first time. Was it on Halloween that I finished it? I think it was the morning of Halloween I finished What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher, and I love it. It was my favorite book of October, so I'm really hoping this delivers. I'm actually going to start this after I finish House of Hunger, which is also on my TBR. Let me just grab it from my bag. I'm less than 100 pages away from finishing it, so this is happening. This is a carryover from October as well. This is a vampire book. I talked about it in my last TBR. Like I said, it's a carryover. I didn't get to it for Black Weenathon or Vampathon, so I'm just scooching it over to November, which works out anyway because I was asked by a very highly adored booktuber who I've been watching for years. I've been asked to be a guest on her book club this month for this book. It has not been announced yet, but if you know, you know for now. I don't want to be the one to tell y'all, you know. I want them to tell you. But hint, hint, this is the book. Yeah, it works out because the live show is probably not till like first week of December, and like I said, I don't remember shit. But I feel like I will remember a lot, and I've been annotating the hell out of it, and I've been loving every page. Another carryover is The Empress of Time by Kylie Lee Baker. This is the sequel to The Keeper of Night, which was one of my favorite books of 2021 and my favorite YA fantasies of all time. I'm gonna be continuing on with the Monster manga series with volumes 5 and 6. This is for the Monster read-along that I'm doing with a bunch of people. These were recommended to us by Bree from Locked Booktition, as well as Ashlyn from Bookish Realm, along with Bree from Bree Cherie Reads, Erica from The Broken Spine, Cami from Burrows and Books, and Brandy from Books with Brandy Shanae. I'll have all their channels linked down below, but I'm loving this. As a thriller manga series, and obviously it goes by super quickly. There's so much packed into each volume, and I highly recommend. I'm excited to continue. Moving on with the book club picks for this month. So I am a part of Jodie from Vanilla Moon's Patreon, Sid from Sid Bookworm's Patreon, as well as Kat from Bambina Katarina's Patreon. All of their book club picks I just happen to be interested in anyway, so they're all on this TBR. Firstly, I have For the Wolf by Hannah Witten, which is Kat's book club pick for November, and this is actually on my 22 books to read in 2022 list. Since this one one's so chunky, it has deckled edges, and I haven't really been in the mood for like this type of like fantasy retelling. I haven't gotten to it yet. This is exactly the push I needed to finally get to it. So hopefully I love it. Hopefully it doesn't drag. I'm very nervous about it. The sequel came out and it's a gorgeous cover as well, so hopefully I like it enough to continue. And then we have Jodie's book club pick, which is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. I just read Long Live the Pumpkin Queen in September, gave it 5 stars. I also read A History of Wild Places. I just love Shay Earnshaw's atmospheric writing and everything. I've actually had this on my shelves for years and I still haven't read it, but I read those other 2 which I bought more recently than this one. It's a witchy book. It's a gorgeous cover. I just have a feeling I'm gonna love it. It's exactly my aesthetic. It's exactly Jodie's aesthetic. So I'm very excited to chat about this with her and also watch her spoiler-filled vlog. Sorry if you hear the dogs in the courtyard right now. This is about witches. I think it's like dual timeline or something. And there's like this legend that they drown in this particular body of water and then now they're like back. Is it a revenge story? I don't know, but the main character has to make a bunch of decisions to like save her family and whatever. Anything witchy with this gorgeous of a cover, like give it to me now. And speaking of gorgeous witchy books, we have Sid's book club pick, which is Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. Kind of like a full circle moment because Kat just read this for Vampathon and she raved all about it all throughout the week. So it just made me even more hyped for this. I was already hyped for this. This was one of my most anticipated of whenever it came out. Was it September? I don't even remember, but I just can't stop looking at this cover. I wish I had like the non-book of the month edition because it's like embossed and probably foiled. I don't even remember, but it's okay. I've just heard this one is set in a small town. It has all the fall, wintry vibes. I think just fall actually. And there's a second chance romance in it. Like, come on, come on. And witches. And Kat was saying that this is one that you don't want to rush really because it has such gorgeous writing, but I kind of want to read this for the Gilmore Girls Readathon. Speaking of the Gilmore Girls Readathon, here's the group book. So Gilmore Girls Readathon is hosted by Liv as well as a few others, and it's from November 7th to the 13th. I love Gilmore Girls. It's my favorite show of all time, and it's perfect because Liv is my guest host for this month. It's just, everything is just so perfectly together this month. I don't know. Just really hope it's gonna be a good reading month. But anyway, as Seen on TV by Meredith Shore. I've actually never heard of this until Liv's announcement video, and I immediately found it on Pango, and it's literally brand new. So this is another small town book. It literally says full of Gilmore Girls vibes on the front in the blurb. She moves from New York City to a small town, I think, and then she has this like romance with a TV show host or something like that, and she's a journalist. Yeah, the town is literally called Pleasant Hollow. Sounds familiar? Stars Hollow? Come on, come on. Really hoping this is gonna be a pleasant surprise since it's usually the books I've never heard of that I love the most. I don't know how that works exactly. I don't know the science behind that. I'm hoping this goes by super quickly. I'm probably gonna pick this up first for the readathon since it is the group book. I think I already mentioned I don't really have a set TBR for that. I'll probably use one of the Monster manga or the Empress of Time for the Asian representation / Asian author prompt. Like I said, Spells for Forgetting could be one. This could be another one called Autumn of the Grimoire by J.L. Vampa. I never heard anyone talk about this. I think it was suggested to me on Goodreads or Amazon or something, and I was immediately intrigued. Another witchy book, and look at this cover, it just screams fall. So I asked my patrons if they want to possibly buddy read it with me, so that's another spontaneous buddy read. All my buddy reads on Patreon are just like sponto, like whatever we're in the mood for type of thing. And by we I mean usually me and Joey, and then like I ask if any of them would be interested, and then I make a thread on Discord. It's very flexible, very go with the flow. I don't have like a poll for all the buddy reads or anything like that. That's how that works, but this is one of them. It's about sisters. I don't even know. Let's find out together. Mysterious Grimoire. Every time I see the word grimoire, I think of Sorcery of Thorns and I just want to read it all over again. A marriage full of dark secrets, a history sculpted by a quartet of sister witches. Like that alone just makes me want to read it. I kind of want to just go into it blind because I see words that may or may not turn me off from this book. So I'm just gonna leave it at that and just go into it blindly. That's that. Here's me talking about it since no one else is that I've seen at least. Speaking of spontaneous buddy read, Joey and I have been picking a buddy read or two every month for the past couple months. My patrons, my vamp patrons, Whoa. I make a thread for them to participate too if they want, and I do have dedicated reading vlogs for these, and they go on YouTube, but my dedicated full moon book club vlogs are Patreon only now, in case some of y'all were looking for. I know a couple of y'all have asked me about them, but yeah, they are Patreon only now because I figured it'd be an easy shift since I don't have like a Patreon specific book club, if that makes sense. Okay, Daphne by Josh Malerman. I was convinced to read this by one of Gabby's vlogs, Gabby from Gabby Reads. I haven't read Bird Box or anything by Josh Malerman, but this one is a horror book focused on anxiety, and I figured both Joey and I would love this book because we both suffer from anxiety. There's like a lot of basketball in this as well, but it's about this like tall, like 7-foot woman in the shadows, and that just creeps me out. And she's like disgusting with like her nails being all gross, and yeah, so I feel like I would not be able to read this alone at night, so RIP, but I'm here for it. It's a library book, but I have a feeling I'm gonna want to annotate it because of all the anxiety rep. We shall see. On a lighter note, I have Where We End and Begin by Jane Igharo. Jane Igharo is one of my favorite romance authors. Like, she is so underrated. I don't hear too many people talking about her. I gave both her other books 5 stars, Ties That Tether and The Sweetest Remedy, and one of them has my most hated trope, and I still gave it 5 stars. So take that as you will. But this one, all I needed to hear was it's a second chance romance by Jane Igharo. That's it. Basically, these two people met, I think, in Nigeria, and then the girl had to move to the States for college, and then they're reunited at a wedding, and then they get a second chance, and I'm so excited. I'll probably try to squeeze this into Gilmore Girls Readathon as well. One of the prompts is complicated love interest. I feel like all types of romances are complicated one way or another, so it's very versatile, and then there's always that third act conflict, so everything is complicated, so I'm counting it, okay? And then we have, we're just going from lighthearted books to heavy ass books. We have Savage Appetites. This is gonna be my nonfiction pick for the month because I am on a roll, let me tell you. I am 10 for 10 for my monthly nonfiction book. I told myself I would read at least one per month, and I've been sticking to that. Hopefully I didn't just jinx it. I literally just chose my nonfiction pick right before filming this because I had a different book, and then I was like, you know, I haven't read true crime in a while. All year I've been wanting to get back on that true crime train, so here we are. It says 4 true stories of women, crime, and obsession, and I'm so ready to read about female serial killers and crimes and stuff, so I really hate this cover. It creeps me out. All right, and then the last physical book I have is The Measure. This is an ARC. It has this little like slip thing in it. Ever since I heard about this book, I was just super interested. It just looks like a book that's gonna have good ass writing, you know? I don't know how to explain that, but it says The Midnight Library meets The Immortalist, which were both very mediocre books for me. I like The Immortalist better. The thing about those two that got me, that blurb that got me, is the concepts of the two books. They're both like really strong premises. Like The Midnight Library is about like this woman who's like in purgatory basically, and like goes to this library. Each book is a different choice that she could have made in her life, so it like talks about all the different ways your life could have gone and everything. And then The Immortalist, these siblings go to a psychic and they're told when they're gonna die, how many years they have left, things like that. So if this is a mixture of both those concepts, I feel like I'm gonna get a lot out of it. I feel like this is definitely gonna be a heavily annotated book from me. I feel like it's a good November book, like just from the cover. But basically it's like a dystopian novel where people open their front door, they find a box, and then, hold on, this box holds your fate inside, the exact number of years you will live. That's just such like a heavy concept on my mind. Like, I can't fathom knowing when I'm gonna die, how I'm gonna die, where I'm gonna die. Like, it just, I hate thinking about it. And death, this is gonna sound so morbid, but death has been on my mind so much ever since September when I lost my grandpa and my dog within days of each other. So ever since then, my mind has just been like, holy shit, I am running out of time. So maybe this isn't a great book to read, but you know, maybe it is. Stay tuned.
Holy fuck.
I have 2 more books on this TBR that I don't have right now. Well, one's on my Kindle, and that is Womb by Duncan something. So last month, Joey and I did what we called unmuted and unhinged reading sprints on my Patreon. So basically, we read this extreme horror novella called Cows all in one sitting. You got our live reactions because we stayed unmuted. We just had some ambiance on like low volume on the screen. It was a live show, and you could just hear all my screams and reading quotes, and it was all spoilery, so beware of that. But yeah, we're basically doing the same thing with this novella called Womb, and it's shorter than Cows, so it's gonna be a shorter live show, but it was so much fun. Everyone loved it, and I was so nervous about it because it was something I've never seen. Like, you know, everyone mutes for their sprints, and it just wasn't your typical sprint, so I'm glad that my patrons had fun. I'm glad Joey had a fun time, because it was like 5.5 hours long, and we truly did read Cows in one sitting. It was just such a blast. So I'm super excited to do it again. This live show is going to be on November 6th, Sunday, November 6th in the evening, or whenever we get back from our shenanigans. We have plans that day, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm excited for that vlog. So that's Womb. It's another extreme horror novella about this like motel, Holiday Inn. I think it's a motel, and I was warned that there are a lot of like birthing situations, which I hate. So it's gonna be an interesting live show is all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna be very much triggered, but I guess is it masochistic? The last one on this TBR is The Cloisters by Katy Hayes. I didn't realize this was an add-on for Book of the Month. I didn't check the add-ons, but then I was like obsessing over this book because I forgot about it. I forgot it was gonna come out. I read about it like once or twice, and then I was like, oh my god, this is for me. It's set in an art museum in New York City. It has tarot card magic, and it's pitched as The Secret History meets Ninth House, which are both on my favorite shelf, and it just sounds like everything. I obsessed over it for like a good hour. Like, I entered giveaways, I reached out to publishers, I complained about it on Instagram. I finally got someone to send me an ARC for it, so thank you to Atria Books. I just hope that comes in time for me to read it early enough in the month. That is all. I'm also seeing Babel here. I gotta fix the tabs to match the vibes because I got new tabs, but I'm still only on page 45 and I'm loving it, so I might be reading this in between books at some point. I have a bunch of library books that I'll probably try to squeeze in aside from this TBR, so good luck to me. Good luck to y'all on your reading month as well. I'm trying to figure out what emoji to put. So since my book club is Nettle and Bone, if you made it to the end of this video, put green leaf emojis in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if any of these are unintentional buddy reads for us. Hope y'all had a great day. Stay safe, stay positive, and stay spooky always. And I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye!